In June, I had the opportunity to travel to Africa and stayed in the country at a farm and then a conservation education center. I found many similarities between farmers of Namibia and farmers in Nebraska, especially the sandhills. Farms were far from cities. A 2-hour drive was not unusual. Farmers were independent, capable of making it without leaving the farm for weeks if necessary. Farmers were innovative and inventive, capable of fixing equipment and making modifications using parts they had. And here are 10 differences that I found. First, as we traveled, we saw that signs in shop windows and along the roads were very different from what we'd see in Nebraska. Next, the farms are very large. 100,000 hectares or 250,000 acres are not unusual. Large farms are necessary to provide year-round grazing for livestock. Rainfall at the farm we visited was usually about 11 inches per year. This year they had unusual rainfall just as we did in Nebraska, with about 30 inches of rainfall. Third, the livestock that you'd see in Namibia was quite different from what you'd see in Nebraska. They have fat-tailed sheep, which don't have wool. The wool industry is not profitable in Namibia, so with this breed, the farmer doesn't need to shear the sheep. During good times, the sheep stores energy in its tail, and that energy is available for use during hard times. As for cattle, they raise Brahman cattle that are more tolerant of heat and can thrive on lower quality forages. And then there are unusual types of farms, such as crocodile farms for leather. A fourth difference I noticed was that the appliances in Namibia were different. We stayed at a farm established in 1925. Besides having an electric walk-in cooler, they had a walk-in that used evaporation of water from charcoal for cooling and keeping their foods cool. At the conservation camp, I was delighted with how they protected their septic system. Instead of having a garbage disposal, which makes for a great deal more maintenance on a septic system, we scraped our plates and set the food waste out for guinea fowl, warthogs, and jackals. We pre-washed our plates in soapy water, which was used to water the tomatoes. Then the dishes were washed in a dishwasher. Fifth, alternative energy is widely used. Farms use some older traditional sources of energy like windmills to pump water from reservoirs to water storage tanks or wood to heat water. They also may have solar panels to supply energy or use the sun to heat their water. And then, sixth, landscaping was quite different from that, especially that of eastern Nebraska. Seventh, many plants have thorns for protection. Some of the thorny shrubs are gradually taking over some grasslands. This reduces land available for grazing by livestock as well as wildlife. Eighth, hunting is an important part of farm income and the Namibian economy. Landowners own the wildlife that live on their property, unlike in the U.S. where the general public owns the wildlife. Hunters pay a professional hunter for guiding, farmers receive income for hunted animals, and sell the meat or give it to their workers. Human-wildlife conflicts are on a much different scale from in Nebraska or the U.S. Rooting of vegetation from warthogs can destroy grassland vegetation. Good fencing is necessary to protect small farm animals from jackals and other predators. Ground dwellers like mole rats can reduce quality of land for grazing. And last, the wildlife, especially in Namibia, was amazing. We saw oryx, ostrich, puff adders, kudu, and if not the animal, you might see their sign. I'm Jan Hygnstrom, University of Nebraska-Lincoln Extension, and I hope you had fun listening to some differences between Africa and Nebraska.